Welcome to the session. Today we shall have a quick revision on Social Studies, Civics, Diversity. Class 6. CBSE or NCERT students will find this helpful. What's the concept we are discussing here? We are discussing diversity. Diversity means a range of differences. There are different forms of diversity like language, religion, region, background, art and culture, beliefs, etc. What does diversity do to our lives? Different streams of people have to come together for food or shelter, and that is why there is a diversity coming. If a set of people started living in one place and they continue to live there for thousands of years, there will be no diversity because only similar people and similar habits and similar customs would be there. Diversity in India. People move to different states for different reasons. Migration brings a mixture of the culture. People adapt to the environment. People adopt new habits. They are carried back to their communities. So there is room for diversity and spread of new and different systems. Diversity is a source of strength in India. Unity in diversity. In spite of diversity, there is unity in India. The national anthem, the national emblem, the national song, the national flag brings about the same feelings in all Indians. The constitution. Then people stood together to fight the common enemy during British rule. The cross-cultural interaction makes a rich and varied heritage that we are all proud of. That is what India is. India is a mosaic. Tolerance is not just acknowledged but encouraged, and so the land remains unit. What are examples of diversity? We will discuss about Ladakh and Kerala in this session. And then making friends. Diversity means differences, but that doesn't mean we cannot be friends. The boy and girl can be friends irrespective of their color, age, literacy or wealth. People from different religions study together. Persons from different regions work together. It's all possible. In spite of diversity, it is possible to live together. What is diversity? The differences. Differences due to multiple reasons. And then what is diversity? Diversity is acceptance in spite of differences. Diversity is respecting the differences. Diversity is embracing the variety. So diversity is not just existence of differences due to multiple reasons, but acceptance, respect and embrace. It is existences of differences, then acceptance of the differences, respecting the differences and embracing the variety. That is what diversity is. Diversity means understanding that individuals are unique and then exploring the differences in a positive and nurturing manner. If you are a vegetarian eating only curd rice and another person is a non-vegetarian eating only a beef or a mutton or a chicken biryani, diversity is accepting that there are differences but nurturing the differences and exploring the differences in a positive manner without focusing on the variations from each other due to multiple dimensions. The variations are due to race, ethnicity, gender, man and woman, and social status, how rich or how poor you are, economic status, age, you are old, you are young, physical abilities, you are able to run, you are not able to stand up on your own, mental faculties, you are very intelligent, other person is not so good in mathematics, artistic or literary views, you can memorize poetry, you can draw a picture, other person is not able to appreciate the art. Ideologies, you are a communist or a socialist or whatever belief systems you have or religions you have. So these are the various forms due to which or the dimensions due to which diversity exists in individuals. And what are we supposed to do? We should appreciate the existence of differences, accept the differences, respect the persons irrespective of the differences, and embrace variety. Explore the differences in a positive and nurturing manner without focusing on the variations. What are the forms of diversity? As we have seen earlier, the language is spoken. I may be speaking Tamil, you may be speaking Malayalam, another person may be speaking Hindi, and the third may be speaking English only and not any other language. The way you greet itself is different. Either you hug or you touch the feet. You say good morning or namaste or pranam. Sometimes you say Sat Sri Akal or you may say Jai Shri Krishna. So there may be a religion in your greeting. There may be only a single thing. The Suprabhat or Shubhratri is not practiced everywhere. The region you live, you may belong to Tamil Nadu or you may belong to Bengal or you may belong to Bihar or you may belong to Kashmir. The region you live will bring its own form of diversity in you, knowingly and unknowingly. Your staple food, you may be a person who likes to eat idli every day, another person may like to eat chapati 3 times a day. Then there are places where Rasagulla is cherished. There are places where you have kakwa tea day in day out, and places where only dal bati is eaten, when other places are not. It is not found. Religion and beliefs, that is faith. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Judaism, Sikhism, all these are different belief systems, different religions, different faiths, how you are spiritually oriented. Then the class, you may be rich, you may be poor, you may be middle class, you may be lower class, you may have assets, you may have income, you may have no economic value. It's a class. Then clothes we wear, you may be wearing a sari, you may be wearing a chudidar, you may be wearing a dhoti, you may be wearing shorts. The clothes we wear. The way you pray, you may kneel down, you may stand, you may hold your palms together, you may raise your arms, different ways you pray. Then the way you celebrate certain festivals like Diwali or Eid, the way you marry, where you marry, how you marry, whether you tie a knot, whether you use a garland, whether you just do a ring exchange, the rituals you have, the customs that you practice, the various practices in your day-to-day life, during birth, during death, during marriages, all these are different for different types of people. There are differences in every individual in the way you do certain things, whether you are literate or not, whether you are a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, even your cuisine, how you make a biryani, how you cut the vegetables, what spices you add, what festivals you celebrate, Diwali or Holi or Eid or Muharram or Easter or Xmas, what are the festivals? Political affiliation, you may be a socialist, you may be a communist, you may be a Congress person, you may be a person following BJP, you may be a person following BJD, you may be different political ideologies you might have, you may believe in different systems for different reasons. Then a right wing or left wing, things like that. Your Aryan or Dravidian ancestry, your caste or community or the tribe that you belong to. These forms of diversity are man-made. God created all as human. By birth, everybody is one and the same. It's because of the family that you are brought up in. It is because of the society that is around you. It is because of the community in which you grew up. You have these forms of diversity or uniqueness brought into your lifestyle. These diversity, these dimensions, these changes, these differences, these variations are brought in by the individuals and groups. Mostly they were for a sense of belongingness, for the togetherness. And these are caused by demographic and philosophical basis, but it's not always like that. Earlier time, the diversity were in the form of the occupation that you practice also. A potter is different from a plumber, or different from an electrician, or different from a person who is a fisher, is different from a person who weaves mats. So these are different forms of diversity. What are the factors? One of the main important factors is history, the past experience. Your father and grandfather was like that, you were like that. Or the region that you live in were like that, so you were like that. So for example, there were lots of Hindus in Hyderabad, and then Hyderabad was ruled by Nawab. And so people started adopting the Nawabi cuisine, the Nawabi jewelry, the Nawabi style of dress. So everybody started adopting that. Look at Delhi. Delhi did not have Islamic culture before there were invasions like Ghori and Ghazni, and then the dynasty was set up, the Sultan dynasty was set up, and Babar, Akbar and Humayun, Aurangzeb started ruling from there. After that, a lot of Islamic culture was absorbed into the lifestyle of the Delhiites. Now there is nothing called a Hindu Delhi or a Christian Delhi or a Muslim Delhi, because most of the culture is adopted from the Mughal dynasty, because they have been there for a long time. So the food, the clothing, the way you speak, the way you dress, lots of things came. It's history. It has been happening like this yesterday, so you do it today. Next, something is geography. If you are living in the hills, you will have a certain culture. If you are living on the coast, you will have a certain culture. For example, in hills, rearing yaks is popular. In coastal culture, fishing is popular. So these people are called fishermen, while those are called herdsmen or shepherds or cowherds. So there are limitations sometimes. Sometimes there are plus points, because of which you have certain specialities in you which makes you different from others, and so this is a form of diversity. Beliefs, the lines of faith, what you believe in, what's your religion or what's your faith, those things also affect the way you live, which causes the diversity. In India, diversity in India is very extent. You can see it in every individual, diversity in India. People move to different states, metros in search of employment or education. This migration bring about intermixing of the culture. Suppose a person from Kerala goes to Chennai, or a person from Andhra Pradesh goes to Bombay, or a person from Bihar goes to Delhi. So these people go there, they take a part of their culture with them, they go and see there they see so many other people. In Delhi you have one Kerala person, one Tamil Nadu person, one Andhra person, one Karnataka person, one Bihar person, one Bombay person, one Kashmiri, one Bengali, one person from Madhya Pradesh, one person from Rajasthan, one person from Punjab, all of them living in the same building. So they all meet each other, they talk to each other, they have different languages, different festivals, different culture, different economic background, different social background, different festivals, different food styles, different clothing styles. They all be friends with each other, learn from each other, teach each other. And when they go back, each of this person takes a small bit of Kerala or Tamil Nadu or Punjab or Gujarat or Rajasthan with them back to their home, to Bihar or Bengal or wherever. And so what happens, everybody has a small bit of every other culture or religion or dress or cuisine or food or religion or regional specialities. So this intermixing and commingling of cultures and communities brings about a lot of strength. This helps in understanding each other. This helps in appreciating the specialities in others. This helps in tolerating the differences. That is why there is a lot of diversity in India. Each of the state, each of the district have a different culture. Within Kerala, there are 4 different ways in which speak the Tamil, Malayalam. In Tamil Nadu, there are 10 different ways they speak Tamil. Within the same state, within the same language, there are different slangs, different styles. So this is diversity. There is unity and diversity in India. What is unity and diversity? In spite of so many differences, variations, people live together as one. The national anthem, the national emblem, the national song, the national flag, all of them bring the people together. We have one constitution which says all Indians are equal. Adult franchise at the age of 21 or 18, you can cast your vote. It is same for everybody. The example from the past is that people stood together to fight a common enemy during the British rule. So unity in diversity, unity in spite of diversity, unity in spite of the differences had been there in India for a long time. The cross-cultural interaction brings about or brought about or makes a rich and varied heritage that we are all proud of. We have a rich and varied heritage because of the differences which has been adopted by the people and absorbed and made as their own. The tolerance is not just acknowledged but encouraged. Tolerance is not acknowledged but also encouraged so that the land remains united. Does it matter? These differences does not really matter. Making friends, be living with friends, living as one, living as brothers and sisters is always possible. A boy and girl can be friends irrespective of their color, their age, their literacy, their wealth, which state they come from, which religion they belong to. You can always be friends. All these things don't matter. You need to appreciate the human in the other person. People from different religions can study together. Persons from different regions can work together. These differences, the various dimensions of diversity, does not make it impossible to work together, live together, study together, whatever it is. Let us look at an example of Ladakh and Kerala. Ladakh is a small state in the northern part of India on the Himalayan mountain range, while Kerala is a small state on the southwest of peninsula. The landform in Ladakh is cold mountainous desert and it is landlocked, while the landform in Kerala is coastal plains and hills. It has ports and coast. So these two different types of landform, by geography, by region, they have a different impact on the people who live there. Occupation is not agriculture in Ladakh. It is very difficult, rarely possible. Agriculture is rarely possible because it is barren. It has a scanty rains. In some places it is possible but not always because it is snow covered many times of the year. But in Kerala, occupation can be agriculture. It is possible because there you have coastal plains, you have river plains, and then you have plantations in the hills, coffee, tea, cocoa, etc. Also, the water is available because it is rain fed from the monsoon. So, occupation as agriculture is possible in Kerala. Is that only thing? No. People are fishermen also because you have rivers and you have seashores. People have plantations also. People are planters because you work in coffee and tea plantations. Source of water is a melting snow in Ladakh because it is snow covered, while in Kerala you have monsoon, rivers, ponds, lakes, wells because it is rain fed. Animal rearing is practiced in Ladakh. People keep sheep and goats. Why? The sheep fur can be used to make something warm clothing. They eat the meat of the goat, or they drink the milk of the goat, or they make milk products out of this goat so that they can live all through the year, the winter and summer. But animal rearing is not a main occupation in Kerala. But still people rear animals. People have cows, people have oxen for agriculture, people have elephants to take care of the timber movement in mountains. People do have animals, but not as a main occupation. What people eat, if people eat meat and drink milk in Ladakh, in Kerala, people will eat rice, people will eat fish, people will eat vegetables, and then the elephants will take care of the timber. The religion, Buddhists and Muslims are popular in Ladakh. It is called the land of lamas, and Buddhism is the main religion in Ladakh. But in Kerala, you have Christians, you have Muslims, you have Hindus, you have all sorts of people practicing different religions. What is Ladakh known for? It is a land of lamas, it is a part of the Silk Route, it is a mountain pass in the Himalayan range, it is known for tourism. Kerala is also known for tourism. On the top of it, it is called the spices capital. It's the land of spices. Your cardamom, pepper, all those things are grown well there because of the monsoons and the hills. And then Kerala is called God's own country, a beautiful place. So Ladakh is also beautiful because of the mountain passes. Kerala is beautiful because of the hills and the rivers and the shores. Both are known for tourism. These two are two different states on two different extremes of India. Unity in diversity. So we have seen diversity means the range of differences. There are different forms of diversity. Diversity does different things to our lives. It can separate people. It can bring people together. It can help us have a rich and varied culture. Diversity in India is due to different reasons, but still people stood together even during British times. Unity in diversity is possible because we have same respect, all the Indians, for the national anthem, national emblem, national song, national flag, constitution, etc. Examples of diversity are the Ladakh and Kerala, two different extremes, and it is possible to make friends and be friends and live together. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Let's meet again.